Alright, so let's see here. I already watched this wreck, so I know what happens. I'm gonna focus on the things you could have done better. First things first is Dark Age. You had like a ton of idle time, I think well over a minute of idle time. So you also had idle economy. What this means is even though your TC might be working, your fills aren't. That's also bad as well because they might as well not, if you're not collecting resources, you might as well not have them at all. So when you're taking deer like this, if you're not able to link them perfectly, what I recommend is just having another sheep nearby. So at the worst case, you like sacrifice a little bit of food efficiency so that you can keep your villagers working at all times. So get in the habit of having like a food source nearby if you're not able to link everything perfectly. It just helps you sustain your food production much better because now either you have to force drop this, which you should because you only have 26 food in the bank and a one vill about to expire in the queue. Ideally, you want to have at least two villagers or like like the upgrade queued up right after it. This way allows you to ensure that it's always working. It's just like linking villagers when you're collecting food. You want to have at least two things in the queue at all times, unless you're like clicking up. At that point, you have like a couple of minutes of time where you don't have to have anything in the queue, but it's always good to queue something right after just to ensure you minimize idle time. All right. As for the build itself, Khmer usually wants to do like a really fast up, like 22 plus 2, which might not be too feasible for you unless you're really good at pushing deer. Or you do something like 28 plus 0, which means you skip the two villages in feudal age entirely and just click up right away. That's one of the build orders that was popularized back in the day on Arena. If you want, I can show it to you later. Just let me know. But you see how you have like nothing in the queue right now and 100 food in the bank. You should always have something in the queue this early in the game. And once again, your villagers are idle here, just like standing around not doing anything. You could have been eating your sheep. Ideally, you like eat one or two sheep, you push your deer in, and then you get your boar. Okay. All right. Yeah, just tiny bit of auto time here and there adds up. You got a force drop here. Okay, that board timing was fine. I was getting a good habit of building a second house right after because you're gonna get housed right away, like pretty much instantly. So when you're building the first house at 15 pop, just build the second one. Yeah, you're gonna get housed here. Oh, no, you didn't. Never mind. Also, you have way too many villagers on their food, on food under your town center right now. What you should do is around like 15, 16 pop, you should start adding villagers to forage bushes. So you want to have between 4 and 5 usually. 4 is the standard number. So you just want to take like 3 of these and then put them on forage bushes. Also, this lumber camp, I don't hate it, but it's not the best. I guess you could have put it like here, a little bit further down, or like here. Actually, your wood is really bad, so that's fine. Okay. You also want to build farms a little bit earlier. You want to build like rank 2, 3, or 4 farms. You built way too many farms in feudal age and dark age, I think, which is not great because you do not want to build that many farms without the horse color upgrade unless you're going for like a really fast like uptiming, like or like a fast imp-ish kind of play. It doesn't really make sense to drop this many farms, especially because you're gonna have like you're already close to if you manage your food a little bit better, if you had like more villagers on forage bushes in the start, for example, you probably could have gotten away with only building a couple farms. Also, you had idle time here. Yeah, okay, good. You didn't build your buildings. I see that's a common mistake a lot of people do, which is they build buildings in feudal age. Also, your wood micro could use more work. You have way too many on one camp. If you're gonna have like 14 villas chopping wood, you want to spread it out so that you have no more than like 6 or 7 on one lumber camp. Unless you're going for like a one lumber camp play, which in case this is fine. But if you're building 2 lumber camps, you should spread it out. And also, why did you build farms if you were just gonna idle them? This makes no sense at all. You could have if you had like a little bit better eco management, you wouldn't have built these farms, right? And then you would have more villagers on wood, and you would still have enough to click up. So if you're gonna build the farms, just don't idle them. If you're gonna boom as well, it just doesn't make sense to drop like 240 wood on farms and not use them. That makes very little sense. All right. Town center approach. That's okay. You also, I know you gave up map control entirely. This is extremely dangerous against Turks, because if Turks goes for a fast imp, you're kind of screwed. Like, I know you didn't do it this game, but um, you need to be scouting, see what he's doing, and you should be very very scared right now. Okay, maybe not scared per se because his score is really low, but if hasn't been up yet and it's already 17, 18 minutes, there's a very good chance he's going fast imp, despite the score. Because even though people aren't like super good like at the build order, like they're not pulling off like hero 20 like 19-minute fast imps, it should still scare you a little that your opponent isn't in castle yet if they're Turks or like Byzantines or some of the civ that likes to go fast imp like Italians. Those civs are have very strong or accessible gunpowder, or they have like a fast imping bonus. So you should be very worried if your opponent isn't up yet. And it's okay to give up like the relics if you expect a fast imp, in which case you should drop a stable and or drop like 2 3 stables and make knights. But in this case, like you did neither. You weren't countering the fast imp and you didn't give up. You were giving up map control. Alright, so he's at castle now. So you should be scouting the edge of his wall, seeing what he's doing. Alright, good. So he's just going for relics. Yeah, this is really bad because now you have no vision at all. You should be very worried. But you did drop stables, so that's good. For some reason, you made scouts though, which is very odd because if you're expecting the fast imp, if there's a reason why you drop the stable, scouts don't really do anything. Okay, so you see the town center now. You're like, okay, this guy probably isn't going fast imp because he went for the eco approach. But you still shouldn't have built your town center on the outside because it's very dangerous. If anything, you should get like a castle up in the front first before you build like a town center. This gives you protection. This is very dangerous because if they have like scouts and stuff on the field, you get easily sniped. So just be wary of where you build your buildings in the future. Yeah, like this is a very dangerous town center, bro. It's in the front and it's like hard to protect. Okay, and then you scouted the ranges. Like this shows you that once he's clicking up, he's gonna go hand cannons or cav archers. Most likely hand cannons. So, and then he's zipped out. That means you should unqueue everything or commit to the full castle and play knights. But since you have like such a large eco lead right now, I think it's okay to just like cancel your units and go imp. Like you shouldn't make units this early unless you're planning to defend with them. And you're under no immediate threat right now. So you should just focus on going up, spending your wood. You're floating like 1,000 wood. That's over 20 farms. And you should focus on getting up. You don't need your buildings, so just spend all your wood on farms and click up to Imperial Age because you imped way too late. I think you clicked up at like 34 or something. That's like really, really late if you're under no pressure. Part of it was because you're making units that you don't need right now. And the other reason was you just weren't very good at spending your resources. And also this castle, I don't hate it, but if he comes knocking with bomber cannons, you probably want to have it closer to the front just so it gives you some protection so he has a siege to a castle instead of just breaking in and then killing everything in the front. Alright, and right now you need vision. You either need your scouts or whatnot outside to see what he's doing, or you need outposts on the sides or the front. Because it's very dangerous to be in a position right now without... Okay, good. You see he's going for camels and bombards. So this play actually works. Okay, so you upped at 36, which means it clicked up at like 32, 33, I think. You probably could have swept him if you didn't click cluster and you made a little bit more production and just went full battle offense with like a couple traps. Because your army is way better than his right now. He has 3 cannons and like 2 camels. Like you could have swept him right now if you send your army forward. You waited way too long to attack with the battle elephants, and you have pretty much full upgrades on them. And you were like 130 pop. Like everything looks great right now, aside from the fact that you were not aggressive enough. And pretty much that's how the game goes. He takes better fights than you because he was patient, waiting under his towers. You weren't aggressive enough. You didn't have siege when you pushed. Like I know you pushed like this or something, and then you didn't, or sorry, this side, and you didn't really have siege, so he was able to kill you. Also, you made a ton of monks, which I don't like because they do have redemption, but they don't have. I'm pretty sure Khmer don't have block printing. So, and Turk cannons have. He didn't get the artillery upgrade, so that's whatever. But they have 14 range, up to 14 range, and that easily kills 9 range monks. So unless like his micro is like really bad, he should never really be able to get a conversion, or you should never be able to get a conversion on him. But yeah, it's just one of these things where like it seems like you're in such a good lead, which you are. You have over 3k lead on him, but you just took better fights because he was patient. And you were the opposite of patient, which is like I don't know, but you weren't aggressive enough. Like you didn't have urgency. So if you send everything forward right now, like these 30 something battle offense, you could have swept everything here. I know you probably wanted to wait for an opening, but you can't wait when you have this big of a lead. Because the lead is gonna get smaller and smaller. Like if you're not doing anything, it's just gonna get smaller and smaller. And see, he took good fights because all his units were grouped up. You sent them in 1 by 1, which is how you lost them. I don't hate the battle elephant play at all. I think that's one of the better things he could have made here. It's just like really puzzling because you knew you had a lead, right? You had a 3k lead on him, yet you still waited inside your walls for him to catch up. Also, you probably shouldn't have made skirms against camels and bomber cannons. Skirms probably aren't the right play. Like when you push this, you didn't really have like too much siege. You had like a couple of siege rams. Imagine you had like a lot more siege rams and traps behind it. You could have cleaned up everything. Also, he out microed you here by like going around the houses. So in general, try to avoid taking fights where you're going to be in a tight space against range units, even if you have the superior unit. And he never should have gotten those cannons converted, but it is what it is. At this point, you could still win very easily if you flooded hussars into his eco. So if you like made like 10 more stables and just right click your hussars into his eco, you could have won. But I think he stopped that. Yeah, like instead of attacking the strong points here, just go for the weak points where it's already exposed. So you could just run right in. His eco is wide open. It's exposed. There's no castles, no towers. He has 1 town center, so he can't really hide. You could have killed his entire economy there. Instead of trying to siege like this side, because it's like kind of strong with towers and whatnot, and all his entire army there. Yeah, so this is very good. And also since he's distracted right now, you could probably push this. But I think this sends him to fail. And pretty much the game is a stalemate now. He's caught up. He has a better army because Camel's hand cannon beats like Hussar or Skirm. And you don't have enough elephants right now to force the engagement. And the game, yeah, you said you wanted to go to sleep, so it probably didn't keep up macro. But yeah, you just lost too many units here because you didn't group up your entire army, and you took good fights with his hand cannons. At this point, like, you should just keep raiding because you're probably not gonna get through the bulk of his army here with your trash units, and you're pretty much like out of gold. Turks have very bad trash. So if it does go super late, your trash is better. But remember, he has 4 relics because you gave up one map control, and you have 1 relic, which means his gold is always going to be better. So yeah, the game, if you just focus on getting to imp and then attacking with your elephants as soon as you had enough, like 30, 40 of them, you would have won if you had Sage behind. Also, you just didn't really leverage your economy all that well. Like, you had a ton of floating resources. Um, you clicked up too late. A lot of these things like added up, so you didn't have like you had the right composition with your Siege Ramp Elephant, but you just didn't attack early enough. And I think you should try to aim to end the game as early as possible. Whatever, even though even if you have like the better Civ and post Sim, for example, just because you don't want to get to that situation where you might have to fight an extended trash war, and then it's like whoever has a better macro wins. So if you don't trust in your macro, just try to end the game as early as possible. Get your siege out early. As soon as you have your key upgrades, which is Tusk Swords and the Last Armor and Elite Battle Elephant, send them forward. Also, you could do with better vision on the sides, which so like get outposts up on the sides. Even though there's no resources left to contest, it's still good to see what he's doing. And ideally, you want to have like, you want to have a little bit. How many farms did you have? Okay, 50. Yeah, that's good. You also could have sold your wood too. You have way too many on wood. You have 71 on wood. You don't need this much. With Chimera, you probably need like 30, 40 at most, and like around 70 farms. So maybe rebalance your resources and sell your excess wood, and maybe drop a little bit more. Maybe like drop castles because you have 2k stone in the bank. So either drop it on him and try to siege him, or drop it like in key strategic locations, like either the front of your base or the sides. Like this one is good because it protected this code. But yeah, it's hard to give like specific advice because every game is so different. But in general, like just spend your resources, right? Get more production up. You have 4 stables, 7 stables. Sorry. All right, 8 total. That's really not enough to spam Hussars. You want to have like 15, 16. You only have certain ranges as well, so you want to have more ranges if you're gonna go skirms. But I don't recommend skirms. I don't think skirms are very good against camel. Skirms are good if they don't have like a unit countering it. And in my opinion, you should just went all in on elephants and swap them. That's pretty much the gist of it. Like you just took the fight way too late, and you let him get a massive hand cannons, which was like unkillable. All right, let me know if you have any questions. If you have any, yeah, feel free to join my Discord. I'll put a link in here as well. If you have like specific questions, I'm happy to help. And let me know if there's anything else.